You hand a car off to someone else, and they do something different to it, and they don't tell you. And so, of course, I couldn't qualify. The battery ripped the cable out.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I've seen a lot of race drivers do a lot of things. I've seen a lot of race drivers do a lot of things, but never in my life did I ever think I'd see anybody back in a Hornet the way the Dom did turn 3 at Willamette Saturday night.
We just talked about it when in the lineup. We're like, Dom, back her in there, get her up on the bar. We were joking around, and I'm like, Dom, where's the e-brake?
I
don't even have one.
You didn't have one. I don't think Dom thought you were joking.
Well, I'm starting to re-guess our conversations pre-race now.
He took that thing, and, I mean, did he not?
Well, the heat race was, the car's a neat car. I mean, I set it up good for him, and it's a fast car. There's no doubt about it. But it handles. It's a great car, and obviously you've seen the heat race was 5 seconds ahead.
Yeah. Let's talk about the feature.
Sure.
Because if I look at
well, let me tell you the story first.
Yeah.
So I get in the car because they're calling us up to go get it lined up, get out there. The car won't start. So they push me back to the pit. Oh, the battery's dead. Pop another battery in. I figure, well, I'll at least get to the back of the pack, to get some laps in. I realized I didn't start the race.
Yeah, they're still mudding in.
They're still mudding in.
Right.
So, of course, then I'm like, I don't want to pull off the track and not mud in, not be one of the guys.
Yeah, it can't be a
So
jerk.
I just keep driving around. And the car's, it's just so slippery. And I'm like, well, it'll dry up.
It didn't.
It'll dry up.
It didn't.
No. But those first few laps were awesome.
You had kind of a rough day, though, Dom, because you didn't even get a chance to qualify.
No. I didn't qualify, but I won the heat race.
You did. Qualifying times from, that we had 7 Hornets, that we had 7 there that actually got timed in. James Donaldson was fast time. He was the only guy in the 19-second bracket in the 0 car with a 19.742.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Scott was second fast. Steve Dove. Bowden Lindbergh in the 17, the little truck, was 4th fast.
That thing's fun to watch.
Andrew Wright, Jasmine Hansen in her first race, and Dom Conti.
0.
Right, no time.
0.0.
Heat race 1. Well, there was only one.
Goes to?
The 32 car of Dom Conti picked up the win.
It was Talon Rogers' car, Dom Conti driving.
Yeah.
The 424 of Steve Dove was second. James Donaldson, your fast qualifier, finished third. Jasmine Hansen, in her first race ever, actually finished 4th. She beat out Andrew Wright, Bowden Lindbergh, and Casey Scott. She had She had a tough night later on in the program. From the heat race, we went into the trophy dash. Casey Scott picked up the win, and he was so excited to get a trophy dash win at Willamette because he says, I'm always, I come here and I'm fast and something happens. I'm snake bitten and to kind of get a win here and get things rolling the right direction.
That's fun.
He was ecstatic about it. It was a good run for him. He beat out James Donaldson, Steve Dove, and Bowden Lindbergh were your trophy dash cars, and that's how they finished. The A main, the 0 car, James Donaldson.
Yep.
We saw he was pretty consistent throughout the entire program.
Mm-hmm.
He had that car, and I think he did make some changes. The car improved throughout the night. It got faster. Casey Scott was second. Bowden Lindbergh was third. Andrew Wright, 5th place went to Dom Conti. Jasmine Hansen and Steve Dove. Dom Conti had a real shot to win that race.
I was going for first.
You're not first, you're last.
Listen, that was one of those deals where it was like, there's the leader. It's checkers or wreckers time.
That was me.
And nobody's up top, so I'm going there.
Nobody up there?
Just send it.
Car had the power.
James Donaldson didn't have that thought, and he just kind of cruised around that middle groove. And
who's this idiot behind me?
You know what I really blame is when he saw the first Hornet race of the year and they were duking it out. You could see him up there just getting excited, and I think he just went, I'm gonna put on a show.
I guess what it was is I knew when I hit the quarter, I said, "Oh, that hurt," and I realized after a second it wasn't over.
No,
because the car just
stopped.
I was going fast.
Yeah, you were, and I'm glad you weren't hurt in that wreck.
Yeah,
and we can laugh about it now, and we've been laughing about it since Saturday night.
Yeah.
But Yeah, you did. That
was a hard hit.
Scary moment for us up there. We hate seeing those kind of wrecks, and you did get the front of that car in there. But I'm thinking this James Donaldson in the Zero.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of the guys you're going to have to beat in this class. He's been pretty good in the couple visits we've seen him at Willamette. And
he's getting her figured out.
He is. And Casey Scott is always fast. Unfortunately, he won the dash but couldn't pull it off in the feature. Bowden Lindbergh, first time we've seen this kid. I think
Neat kid.
14. Is he 14?
Yeah, he
years
just
old?
whips that thing around.
He did. He looked like he's having a ton of fun. Andrew Wright, who was in Talon Rogers' old car, struggled throughout the night.
He's actually a dwarf car driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looked like he was having a hard time with that car. The car was not doing him any favors.
No. But
So
he'll get it sorted out.
He'll get it sorted out. You know, it's one of those deals. You're new to the division and kind of figuring out what these cars do. Here we go.
Boom.
Here we go, boys. We're gonna talk street stocks.
Oh,
You ready? Okay, we had 16 street stocks. Our fast qualifier put down a 17.625. That was Andrew Langan on the 74. Okay, I want to talk about him when we get up to the feature because I'm watching the race as announcers. We make observations. We see things that most people don't get to see from our vantage point. Langan was your fast qualifier. Brad Gentry was second fast. Shannon Horn, Kevin Roberts. Those were your dash cars.
How far off was Gentry and Langan?
The times between them, very close. 17.625 to a 17.687. Yeah. Yeah, very competitive right there. Shannon Horn was a 17.791, and Kevin Roberts, your fourth fast car in the dash, was 18.021. And then down the qualifying line, Dave Schmidt, Jesse Yankee, Dakota Goddard was seventh fast. Jody Tanner was eighth. Sean French. Colin Weinbarger filled in for his little brother in the 19W car. He qualified 10th fast, 18.745. Okay, then it was Brody Sim, Joshua Scheller, Kendall Irvine, James Whitehouse, Andy Gardner, and Michael Hollingsworth were your qualifying order. Okay?
Stiff competition so far.
Right. Street stock heat race number 1. Colin Weinbarger was the winner in the 19W by a little over 0.8 of a second. He beat out Jesse Yankee, Shannon Horn, Dakota Goddard was fourth, Andrew Langan fifth. The Jefferson Auto Club, Thomas Dwyer at 14 was sixth. Kendall Irvine, Brody Sim, Michael Hollingsworth was the running order for heat race number 1.
And that heat race is actually up on Moxie's.
It is. It is. And we've Sam got that posted up just a little while ago. Colin Weinbarger won heat race number 1. Heat race number 2, just as stacked. We had Brad Gentry for the win. Okay. Kevin Roberts, Sean French, Jody Tanner, Joshua Scheller, James Whitehouse, Andy Gardner, Dave Schmidt. Gentry. I want to talk about him. The 2G.
He's the relaxed dude in the pits. But when he gets in that car,
he's out. Can the dude drive though?
Yeah,
he can drive. Yeah. He has been the guy. From what we've seen, the first couple of weeks, and with him winning that heat race that he was in by a little over 3 seconds, you had to go thinking going into the feature, this is going to be the guy to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Him or Kevin Roberts. Weinbarger won the first heat race. You've got the guys that you expect, but given what we saw at the opening race with Brad Gentry, I think he was probably the overall favorite from what we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanical issues hit, and it took him out of the deal. Unfortunately.
How many guys were offered that back row challenge?
We're going to get to that.
We're
going to get to that because we're talking Street Stock Trophy Dash. Was the 4 cars in the dash. Langan didn't start. Okay, I don't know what happened to Langan, but we didn't see him roll out. So we had a 3-car dash with Brad Gentry, Shannon Horn, Kevin Roberts. Gentry had it was an ignition problem of some sort on lap 1. That's when he pulled off, and his night kind of went south from there. Shannon Horn finished second, 7/10 back from Kevin Roberts. And Kevin Roberts, in his Trophy Dash interview, says, man, it just feels good to be here and beat Gentry. Whether he was on the track or not, just to finish ahead of him because he's been so fast. We saw that, the 2-car battle with the IMCA stock cars at the opening show. And then so far, with what Gentry's done, we're going to be talking about him a lot this year, as we will Roberts and Horn and Langen and all the guys you expect to talk about in this class. Dakota Goddard, Jesse Yankee, Jody Tanner, no doubt. We know we're going to talk about him. I mean, all these guys. This field is so tight when it comes to the competition. We've got more cars coming. We had a little conversation earlier today. I did with Justin Evans, and that car they're building is all the big stuff is done. It's a couple little things before they get back out.
It looks like he has some wiring done. A bunch of I've been following it just because it's such an intriguing car.
It is. It's been fun to watch them build this thing over Facebook and kind of see the pictures they post. But basically, it's little things in paint. So we're going to have him back out. We'll be talking about him as well. I mean, this is why I like this class, top to bottom. There is not a field out there in the Northwest that is the competition is like this, top to bottom. I mean, there's Langen right there listening. He says he hit the wall coming to the white flag in the heat race, broke the trailing arm. Okay, so it's a trailing arm and the right rear brake that broke, which sucks because we expected, to see the 74 car battle for a win like we always do. I mean, it's one of the guys, like we said, you expect to see him. Street stocks, heat race number 2, we talked about that, right? Mm-hmm. Brad Gentry over Roberts, French, Tanner, Scheller, Whitehouse, Gardner, and Schmidt. Okay, Trophy Dash, we talked about Kevin Roberts winning it. The main event.
Dun, dun, dun.
Here we go, the main event. Okay, so during Trophy Dash, Roger Schneider from Roger That Barbecue.
Yeah, I still haven't had any of that at the track, and I'm holding on.
He comes out as I'm wrapping up interviews, and he says, "Hey," he says, "Corey," and he's got a $100 bill in his hand. I know where this is going right away.
Yes.
He says, "Go tell Roberts," and there was 4 cars that were offered $100 to go to the back of the feature, and if you can win, you get the $100 challenge money on top of the regular pay. We offered it to Kevin Roberts, and without hesitation, I barely got the words out. He says, "I'm going to the back."
Oh yeah, he likes that.
Kevin he'll do that. Colin Weinbarger. I'm going through the list here to see the other cars that we challenged. Brad Gentry, Colin Weinbarger, and I want to say, it was Shannon Horn.
Yeah.
Horn or Langen, one of them. I can't remember which one. Anyway, Roberts was the only one to accept that challenge.
Well, Colin, I don't think you could double the purse money or even tell him, maybe 10 grand. Maybe 10 grand. He might
He does not take those challenges.
But he likes his track position too much.
He does. And let's talk about that. Because let's talk about it. You've got a shot. You got a shot to win the money, the bonus money coming from the back. Against this field, it's a tough field of cars. Mm-hmm. Roberts goes to the back, starts outside back row, makes his way towards the front, gets into a heated battle. We're talking the race of the night, and I won't be surprised if we end up voting on this as the race of the year. I know we got a lot of racing coming. That's going to be hard to beat. Okay, when Roberts caught Weinbarger, and Weinbarger was in the 19W car, phenomenal job of driving that Camaro. He had that thing smooth, did a good job of keeping it pointed in the right direction, just
not
finesse,
burning the tires up, getting to him.
Finesse on the wheel. And here comes Kevin Roberts. He's letting it hang out. He's on the throttle. He's driving that Camaro for all it's worth. You couldn't get any more performance out of that car.
No.
He caught Weinbarger, and these guys put on a show that the fans are going to talk about for a long time. I want to say it was 6 laps that it was just side by side, bumper to bumper, and Kevin trying to make a move and trying to pull off a slide job, unable to get it done because Weinbarger was so smooth on the top. Now, I think had it been anybody else, there might have been a bumper put on Weinbarger. But we know how Kevin Roberts races. Okay, and this is why I think that the fact that he is such a gentleman behind the wheel, he is as competitive as they get, but he will not do you dirty. He will not wreck you with intent.
No, if he does, it was an accident.
I mean, even hard racing, he keeps it clean. Mm-hmm. And several times, he could have just put a quick little bumper on Weinbarger and turned him around or got him out of shape.
Or not hit the brakes when he needed to.
Right, and drove by and picked up the win. He didn't do that, and the race that we saw...
he lost that money by what?
we're gonna have less than half a car length.
Yeah.
Maybe